So when I was little, I discovered I had a learning disability and I struggled a lot with reading and writing. And when I was struggling, I discovered art, and art was something that just allowed me to shine. It was my outlet, and it really made me discover who I was as a person. My name is Keisha Casiano. I graduated in fall 2015 with a degree in visual art studies and a minor in education. I'm an elementary art teacher for Northwest ISD. So what I value most about what I do in the classroom is I think the fact that I'm able to give these kids a safe space for them to explore, create. We have a lot of friends that sometimes they struggle with academics or sometimes they struggle with behavior, but when they come to my class, it's like a whole different kid, and I'm able to find and discover that niche for them, and we explore, we create. And one of my favorite things about teaching art is when we make something and the second that they're finished is the light in the face that they have. They just love what they've created, and they just would have never been able to think that they would have been able to create something like that on their own. When I graduated from high school, I knew I wanted to do something art education related. I went off to community college first, and during that time I was doing my research, and there's a lot of universities that offer degrees with art education, but it's not K through 12. So UNT was one of the few universities that offered kinder through 12th grade education, and the more I did my research, I just felt like it was a right fit for me. So after finishing up my associates, I applied and got in. One of the great things that the UNT art education degree offers is that it allows you to take different art classes. So you have to take drawing, painting, sculpting, ceramics, where I learned as an art educator recently that a lot of art teachers that get their fine arts degree do not take those other courses. Usually they just take one art making skill and then they have their degree. So what UNT offers is that it exposed me to all these different art making skills, which I use now in the classroom. I was never really good at printmaking, but because UNT had that degree set up to where I needed to take a printmaking course, now I'm able to do printmaking with my kids. So one organization that I joined was the NAEA. It is National Art Education Association at the university level. The first year I joined, I was the web designer, where I was in control of the website and all the social media accounts. And my last 2 years, I became president, where I was in charge and collaborating with all the events that we had throughout the school year and getting teachers and future teachers as well involved into the organization. This really helped me in my career too, because as being a leader of the organization, it allowed me just to be more vocal, more open, advocating, and everything that I do now is in support for that too as well. So all of my social media accounts is dedicated to art education, and everything that I do presenting at different organizations is for art education as well. So one of the biggest skills and abilities that you need to have in order to go into art education is definitely wanting to work with kids and wanting to help these kids expose themselves to creating, exploring, and allowing these kids to discover who they are as an artist and exposing them to different ways of art making. Last year I had a project that went viral, and it was all about growth mindset. With this project we talked about different illustrators, we talked about different artists, and what was so interesting and cool and different about this project is that it was a very intensive sculpture project for elementary kids. This is not a medium that's quite used a lot with elementary kids, so the fact that I was able to incorporate this art making skill at such an early age, and then the incorporation of growth mindset, I was able to share my struggles and my story with my kids about how I struggled with my learning disability, and with that I discovered art and how art just really made me and shaped me, the educator and person who I am today. I had our communications department reach out to me saying that he just thought it was so cool that this project was how it was going, and he came by, took pictures of it, and posted it on our Facebook page, and within a week it went from 1,000 views, 5,000 views, 20,000 views, and now I think it's sitting at like 3.5 million views. And I have teachers and educators all around the world who are doing my project and tagging me, and again, sharing that passion, advocating for these kids, exposing them to this cool art making skill, and also just allowing them to be who they are and accepting of who they are as a person and artist as well.